Okay, so we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna show you how I flat iron in sections, which is so much easier for me because, as you guys see, this is a lot of hair, and then I had to take a break because I was hot in between blow drying and styling. So I'm back, and yeah, so I'm going to let you guys see. Now remember, I applied the heat protectant to the sections before I blow dry because we want to prevent damage and breakage. So I applied the heat protectant before I got started with the blow dry. I don't apply any other heat protectant except at the ends. Like if I have little flyaways, I'll take just a little bit, drop it on, and rub it across, but I don't know if we'll necessarily even have that today because I applied the heat protectant before, and it does a really good job of smoothing over those hairs. So let's get started. So I am first going to start by at the nape, which is the back. You guys can see it's little, and don't worry about that. A lot of times the straight naturals we get hung up on, oh, it's short, or it's curled so tight in the back, and it's, you know, my hair is not as long. You know, we would all love for our edges of our hair not to be as short. I know mine has come from my hair being tangled in the back, and that's why I'm really trying to prevent that now. So yeah, it's a little bit shorter back here. I know some of you guys probably can't believe that, but yeah. So I started the nape probably about an inch wide strip of hair, and then you see I combed over and under to make sure there's not any tangles under the bottom as well, because we want to get the flat iron as close as we can to the base without burning our scalp, right? That's really important. Okay, so you go in with the flat iron after combing. I'm holding the hair really tight at the end, and then you just move down slowly until it's straight. Now I do go back in with the comb just to make sure that we have smoothed this out as much as possible. So I still comb it through. I grab the flat irons, place it on, and then I take the comb with the wide teeth, and see how I do that? And you put it on so it straightens out the hair and allows the heat to go and penetrate the hair, so you get this nice glossy. Can you guys see that? It's amazing, right? So you continue to take small sections in the back of your head and comb under and over to make sure that you don't have any hair that may need to be detangled before trying to straighten it, because it makes it very hard at that point. So again, go down to the base without letting the heat penetrate your scalp. You don't want it to burn it, so you got to be really careful and move down at a certain pace because you don't want it to sit there too long. Same thing with this comb. We're going to slide it down, put it on the hair, slide it down until we feel like it's real almost at the ends, like that. Okay, can you see that? Straight is silky, as we're going to do to the whole back part. Okay, so I know a lot of times when people show videos of doing their hair, you very seldom get to see it from the back. So I'm going to turn around so you guys can see how it looks and how I'm straightening and how the heat is applied. It's just going to be the video. So then we're proceeding to another section. Like I say, try to keep them a good separation in between. So if you can't do an inch, do a half an inch. My hair is so thick, so I try to do like a half an inch just to make sure I can get it really good and straight without using a lot of heat. So now this side, we're gonna do the same thing where we comb it through really good to make sure that it's not tangled. But I want you guys to pay attention. You don't want to burn your ear. So you gotta really be careful with the flat iron and how you position it so it does it that close to your ear where it can burn you. So you gotta be careful. So that's one pass. This is gonna be the next one with the comb that kind of open up the hair so the heat can really penetrate to the hair. And yeah, here we go. Nice and straight, right? See how silky that is? I love it. So we're gonna take our time, go around this whole section until we get done. Again, now we're by the ear on this side, so you gotta be really careful the way you position the flat iron because you don't want to burn your ear. Again, you're by your ear, so you have to be really careful when placing the flat iron so you don't burn yourself. So it may take you a little bit longer to angle it, especially if you're using a mirror. Sometimes looking in the mirror, it can just be deceitful of how close you are to your ear. So you have to just be really, really careful because you don't want to burn your ear. And let's get into a talk about the heat protectant and why it's so important. First of all, straight naturals. This is specifically for you because a lot of times people will try to make you feel bad because you're applying heat to your hair. I am a fan of do whatever you want, it's your hair. I am not judging anybody for applying heat to their hair, wearing protective styles, using color. It's your hair. You do what you want to do with it. But what I will say is, if you're going to do what you want to do with it, let's use the healthiest steps and methods possible to keep it healthy and prevent breakage, right? So we have to put ourselves in a position to use the right products to protect our hair. So let's talk about heat protectant and why it's important, especially, like I said, for straight naturals. Because we're going to be the ones that's applying heat to our hair. And I feel like there was a misconception about using a heat protectant because a lot of people look at it as if you're just applying oils or some type of spray or protectant spray. But to be honest with you, your hair gets stripped of its natural oils from the different styles and things you do to your hair. So it's very important that you use a product that's going to help protect that and help, simulate those natural oils that your hair has and give you that nice protecting shiny glow that you want your hair to have. So yes, our heat protectant is an oil. It is not a spray. And we love it because it can be used on wet or dry hair. So it doesn't matter if your hair is wet or dry. So if you want to wear it curly, you can still use the heat protectant. And you can also use it when you are applying heat. Okay, we're moving to our next section. We're going to still try to keep it about an inch, half an inch sections because it gives us the opportunity to really get in there and straighten it. It's so thick, you guys. Remember, these clips are amazing. They help you really hold your hair. Like I said, if it's really thick like mine, it really helps it. Again, we're still by this ear, so you have to really be careful. It's not, you can't move too fast. If you move too fast and you're not paying attention to how close you are, could definitely burn your ear. So I'm going to keep stating that, because in this process of learning, for those that don't know, I used to be a hairstylist and learn how to, you know, flat iron and style your own hair. I burnt myself plenty of times. And it's not a pretty sight. So you have to be really, really careful. But by your ear, it's so important. You don't want to have any burn marks, so it's really important. I can't wait to get to the front so you guys can really, really see like how amazing this heat protectant is for your hair. So you'll see why it's important. So you can use it before you blow dry, before you flat iron, in between styles, like if you want to just do a touch up, or like I said, to smooth away flyaways. It's amazing. And for the girls that want to apply it on their hair that's wet, you still only need a small amount. It gives you that nice shine that you want, and sometimes you may not be able to achieve that from using the products that you may put on for just your curly hairstyle. So it's really, you know, a good versatile product that you can use whether it's wet or dry. And it does not leave behind like a greasy residue. And that's what I really love about it, because it's so lightweight. Yeah, so I'm at these back sections still using the comb to separate it so the heat can really penetrate down and straighten it really good. So it's really important. Can you guys see that? Oh my gosh. Yes, we are in the process. Okay guys, we're back over to this side again by your ear. I think I'm actually going to separate this into two pieces just because I really want to make sure that I'm getting every piece of hair and getting it really, really straight. So again, be careful by that ear. It's really, really, really important that you really take your time by that ear, by your ear. Y'all see how long this is taking? I take my time though. I take my time because I want it to look good. And I also want to try to make sure that I'm being as cautious as possible when it comes to, you know, using a flat iron. You don't want to move too fast and burn yourself. Gotta be really, really careful, right? So we don't burn ourselves. Don't want anybody to get burnt. I'm trying to move over so you guys can see it all the way down to the end. Now we're actually at this piece that actually is right above the ear, but also close to your face. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it several times. Be careful when you're by your face, because you don't want to burn your face. So you got the, what I like to do is see how I'm pulling it out a little bit. And then I take the flat irons and just slide it in there. You got to be really careful, because if you are not, you will get it too close to your face. And yeah, we want to be really cautious about that. So again, you're still by that ear. So you got to be really careful and take your time. So we're moving along with this process, like I said. Almost at the midpoint. Not all the way at the midpoint, but almost there. Yes, it's silk press season, so you gotta make sure that you are taking care of your hair in the midst of this silkening. Okay, silk it out, right? So I always get the question, like, how often do I straighten my hair? Well, before I used to be straightening my hair maybe like twice a month. Now it's gotten to the point that probably every month, once a month, I straighten it. Yeah, because I have to wash it and like really deep condition. So probably once a month I straighten it. Try my best not to put heat to it a lot. I wear braids in between, or I'll put it in a ponytail or a really like messy bun. Good with that. Or I may even put on a ponytail just to make it in between washes and blow dries. Yeah. You gotta try some protective styles in between. You cannot put heat to your hair every day. That's not healthy. I don't care how much heat protectant you're using. You cannot apply heat to your hair every day. It's not healthy. Every day is just too much. You're gonna burn it out. You're gonna start seeing breakage. Your hair is gonna start getting very brittle. And it also won't hold like a curl if you're trying to curl it, if it's like too much heat. So it's important that, you know, if you are a straight natural like I am, you just don't apply heat as much. I mean, like if your hair is trained and you want to wear it straight, it'll stay straight for a couple of days. Depends on the weather too and what you're doing. But if you're sweating a lot and it's really hot outside, yeah, that's not gonna last. But if it's really nice, cool temperatures and you're not like working out and stuff like that, it'll last for a long time. Now we're at the halfway point. Like I said, the crown of my head is the thickest part, so that one, you know, we'll probably be taking smaller, thinner sections of hair just to make sure that we are, you know, allowing the heat to really penetrate down so it can get straight. But you guys can see it's smoothing it over really, really well. So we're at the halfway point, so yay for my arms too, right? So I try not to worry too much about my edges. I come back at the end and like smooth them over because I want to be careful with that, because if you apply too much heat, you can cause a lot of breakage. And then also you got to be really careful because you don't want to burn yourself. So I usually wait to the end on the edges before I try to straighten that part. So I'll show you also how I do that. As you guys can see, I really take my time. I just use these small little sections, probably about a little bit, an inch or a little bit larger, and then just really take my time straightening, and I don't rush through. That's why it takes me some time, but I'm patient, right? Be patient. Can you guys see how silky that is? Hey, it's so silky and it's still flowy. So once I get to this part, because I decided I think I'm gonna wear the middle part, I just go from side to side at this point. I don't just keep going around in the U shape. I just go on this side and then come on this side and just part from the back where it's already straight to up to the front. So that's how I usually do this part if I decide I'm gonna wear a middle part, just because you're already getting the hair flowing in that direction. So So another question I always get is, do I wrap my hair at night? Yes, I do. And I use a bonnet though. I don't use a scarf, only because my head, I get pretty hot at night. So I don't really like how a scarf makes your hair like hold all that moisture. So I use a bonnet, but I use like a smaller bonnet, not the ones for like if you have long hairstyles. So I use a smaller one. And I use my paddle brush and wrap it around. And yeah, it stays on. So for those that don't know, you may have to buy a bonnet several times in a year, because once it starts getting loose, you may wake up and your bonnet is on the floor in the morning, right? So once I get to this part, because I've decided I think I'm gonna wear the middle part, I just go from side to side at this point. I don't just keep going around in the U shape. I just go on this side and then come on this side and just part from the back where it's already straight to up to the front. So that's how I usually do this part if I decide I'm gonna wear a middle part, just because you're already getting the hair flowing in that direction. So another question I always get is, do I wrap my hair at night? Yes, I do. And I use a bonnet though. I don't use a scarf, only because my head, I get pretty hot at night. So I don't really like how a scarf makes your hair like hold all that moisture. So I use a bonnet, but I use like a smaller bonnet, not the ones for like if you have long hairstyles. So I use a smaller one. And I use my paddle brush and wrap it around. And yeah, it stays on. So for those that don't know, you may have to buy a bonnet several times in a year, because once it starts getting loose, you may wake up and your bonnet is on the floor in the morning, right? So yes, I do use a bonnet when I go to sleep at night. And I wrap my hair around in a circular pattern around my head. And in the morning, I get up and brush it down. There are some times, like if I decide to pull it up in a ponytail and just wear it straight down, I won't put on a bonnet. I'll just sleep with it like that. But I put like a scarf over it, so my hair is not necessarily rubbing, directly, like causing any friction. So it's important that, you do protect your hair while you're sleeping. It's very important. As we're getting closer to the top, like I said, this is the thickest part of my hair, and also probably the longest part as well. So we are almost done with this process, guys. And I'm so excited because my arms could get a break. They're ready for a break, guys. They are. Listen, we're moving along. You guys made this much better. Because, knowing that I'm demonstrating this for you guys made it go by pretty quick to me. Usually, I feel like it's taking forever, right? It takes forever. So, this was good. Just to know that you guys are going to see how my process works. So for those that say that straight naturals, you can't wear your hair straight, it's not gonna be healthy, it won't grow. That's not true. You just gotta take care of your hair. It's anything. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing it curly or straight. You have to take care of it. You gotta use the right shampoo. You gotta deep condition. You gotta use a heat protector when you're applying heat. It's so important. You gotta take care of it at night as well. You have to wrap it around. Use that bonnet. Use your bonnet. Don't neglect the bonnet. for those that ask too, I know some people see that I wear my hair like with the wander. I use the wander a lot. I love that, you guys. I'm so addicted to the curling wand. I love that. Can you guys see that? Oh my gosh. And I'm not even done yet. Like, just look at that. It's beautiful. Look at that shine. Look at that. Can you guys see that? Like butter. So now it's just a matter of going from side to side until I can get that. And then I always still go back and like really get a straight middle part. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that too. Because listen, that is the technique of wearing your hair with the middle part. It has to be a nice, straight, clean part, right? Like I said, we are almost done. We are at the top of our head, at the crown, as we like to say in the hairstyling industry. Wait a minute, y'all. I made what I call a hair bubble, and we have to get that flattened. Because I grabbed a little bitty piece of it while I was trying to flatten the other section, and we don't want that. So we have to fix it because we want it nice and silky. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling excited. Look at that. Ooh, and this growth, listen. Let me tell y'all, look at this, the growth. How silky it is, how soft it feels, and it smells so good. I'm not even done yet. I'm excited. Y'all ready? Let's keep it going. Okay, so I cannot forget the part about how often I shampoo my hair, because a lot of people ask that too. A lot of people have the belief that if you leave your hair dirty, it's gonna grow. Or if you wash it every day, it's gonna grow. So let me say this. Washing your hair every day can actually dry your hair out. You don't want to wash it so much that you're stripping all of the natural oils from your hair. But you do want to make sure that your hair is clean. So let me not confuse you with that part. You want to make sure that your hair is always clean, that you're using the right products. Like I said, deep conditioning. You are trimming your ends. I did a video before where I show how I trim my ends at home. I think that's really important too, because a lot of times we don't want to get our ends trimmed. We're like, no, it's gonna look short. Trust me, if you get the right person to trim your ends, or you really know how to perfect it and do it yourself, you won't have to worry about that, because I trim my ends myself. But again, I was a hairstylist for some years, almost a decade, and you know, I've perfected this. Trust me, I've made mistakes before when I was learning, and yeah, now I know how to trim and not cut off too much and cut the right amount. So it's very important that you maintain those trims as well, especially if you're going to be wearing your hair straight. That's really important. So when you get to the top, because we know we want this extremely flat, I really try my best to get as close as I can to the scalp without burning myself, because we want it to be really straight. And so I pull it over just so you know your hair can know that that's the direction you're gonna lay it in. So I make sure that I get as close as I can to my scalp so I can make sure that it's really gonna be straight on that top layer. So yeah, we're almost done, guys. So you guys can use these techniques if you have straight hair and you're not used to doing your hair at home. You can use this as a tutorial and a guide to really help you straighten your hair, and for it to be really, really an easy process. Like, that's the goal, right? We want to make it as easy as possible. So it's really important that we take our time to get this process down where we won't be making any mistakes, right? I try not too much worry about like the part now, because I know that I'm gonna make it like more defined. once I finish flat ironing. So that's why I say it's really important that you get these top pieces sections straight, because you may pull hair from either side just to get it to lay smoothly. So it's really important that you know, get it really straight. I'm actually gonna pull some more. You guys will see my little technique to make sure that it's really straight at the top, right in that crown part on the part. So I'll show you guys what I do for that in a second, because we're almost done with this top part. So we are almost done. I'm gonna do my edges, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I really try to get my part straight. And we're gonna go over those little sections just to show you, to make sure that that's laying down really good. So right now we're gonna do our edges. I'm not really gonna focus on the part just yet, because once I do the part, then that's when I'll go back over the top sections just to make sure that they are smooth. So edges. So my little trick, guys, what I use is I take this and I part out just a little edge part like that. I know some people use a smaller flat iron, but I just use the one that I have, and it seems to have been working for me. So just part it out like that. Now my trick is, instead of me going back, I take these little sections of hair, which it would be called, usually we consider them edges, but because I don't have the little baby hair edges, I have to like really go in to straighten. So take about that big of a section. I take the flat iron, be really careful because you are close to your face, and I straighten my edges into my face. So this is how I straighten my edges, and I'm really careful because it's a lot of short pieces of hair. You know, if you have little edges, like I don't have baby hairs, I have edges, but not the little smooth, fine baby hairs. So I have to go in and straighten those just so they'll lay down really good. I know a lot of people love the pressing comb, but I'm so scared of that going in on my edges. Maybe I will show you guys if I try to use that in order to smooth them over. Now you can see the difference and how it's like laying down. So yeah, I just comb those out and then use the flat iron to straighten it just like that. Now I could have it where I just lay it down with some product, which is usually what I do. I come in and I put some product in at the end and then like use a brush to smooth it over, which works as well, but I still like to really straighten it before I put any product on it, just because I feel like it lays down so much better. So yeah, I guess when I feel more comfortable with that pressing comb, I'll try that. I'm just so nervous to try to use it around my edges, so y'all bear with me. So yes, I try to press all these edges because, you know, sometimes if you're trying to pull your hair back, you want it to be straight. See, I think we got it straight enough. I don't want to put too much heat to it, because if you put too much heat, it could break off, and we don't want that, right? We don't want any breakage like that. So I'll be really cautious when it comes to these edges, because we don't want to burn them out trying to get them straight. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our part next, and then we're gonna smooth over this top layer, and I'm gonna let you guys see how it looks at the end. So the next thing that I would say you would need absolutely is, this is what we call a rat tail comb. See how the teeth of this one are smaller than the other one that we had. So I'm gonna tell you why I use this. For one, because your hair is already detangled, but look how it goes through and it brings your hair all together. I love that. And then this end we're gonna use to make our straight parts. So what I like to do is try to line it up so you know that it'll be straight. So people always say go from the tip of your nose and then just bring it back like this so you'll know that it will be straight. See how crooked I was, guys? Don't talk about me. No laughing, okay? But that helps you really get a good center part, and you just gotta be careful when you're combing it because you don't want it to be any tangled pieces. So let me go down again. You guys see how this is with my little edges at the top. So we gotta make sure that we are doing it in the center. Let's go back further so this way we know that it goes back all the way. Okay, all right. Now be careful, because if you pull it the wrong way, you could mess up your perfect part, and we don't want that, right? So now we're gonna straighten this top layer. Okay, so usually what I do, I take this rat tail comb and I take like a small part right here, like this, and then I just comb it up, and I take the flat irons and I go in, put some heat there, and like smooth it over and bring it down. It usually smooths everything over where you don't have to, see, look at that already. Well, you may not have to put any heat here, but I think I'm still gonna do it just to get that nice smooth over feel for this and the edges. So let's do it one more time. And yeah, let's use the comb a little bit to comb it. And see that? Look at how smooth that is. Okay, and I do it on this side too, just to make sure that it is smooth enough. Just to go in, get that really good top layer, some heat to it, just to smooth it over enough. And then one more section, which is right up here on the top, which really helps smooth it over. Really good when you're trying to make sure that it's silky straight. Some little baby hairs or edges, because I don't have, that's not baby hairs for me. Okay, so you got it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to show you what I do. So see those little flyaways? It usually comes from when you blow dry. Sometimes you have little flyaways, or you know, if your hair is not really tamed to wear straight all the time. So it's really important that, you know, if you want it silky, I'm gonna show you how to get these flyaways out of there, okay? And we're gonna do something to these edges. Okay, so what I usually do is I take a little bit of our heat protectant, and just a little bit, because you don't want to put too much on it because you already had enough. So I take a little bit like that, take it like this, and then I just rub it over the top, and it helps lay those little flyaways down. And then let me show y'all my other trick, because I absolutely love this. A lot of people don't do this, but I do it. I take a brush, double-sided brush. I take the hard side, brush it down, back, side, front again. And then I take the soft side, and then this just helps smooth it over. Now, a lot of times with our edges, people want to go and put products on, which I love products because it gives you that nice finished look. But if you don't want to put products on it, you can always take some heat protectant, just like we have. Rub it on your edges like that. And then I take the brush, and the hard side of the brush, and just brush those edges. And believe it or not, they're gonna lay down. They will lay down. It's not gonna give you the same effect as the edge gel or something like that, but it will lay them down enough where you don't necessarily have to put product on it, but it'll be tamed enough where it'll look like you have something on your edges. So as you see, I use this brush too. That's my little flyaway trick. So if you're having flyaways and you want to try to tame them without putting a lot of product on it or a lot of oil, use this heat protectant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And here's the finished look. subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media.